everyone. I want to talk to you today about a very important exercise called the grounding exercise. Okay, so what is the grounding exercise? Very simply, grounding with your dog is about you sitting with your dog or standing with your dog. It depends on the kind of dog that you have and the level of relationship that you have will determine how you handle this grounding exercise. I'm trying this right now with my client Jake. Come here, Jake. Who is a senior Terrier rescue who is owned by a client of mine, and he's quite comfortable here with us, and so I thought he would be a terrific dog to demonstrate the grounding exercise. I will be showing the grounding exercise with the other dogs as well, and I'll be showing you what grounding can look like when you've got multiple dogs around. But let us start with just this one dog. Now, he's very good to use because even though he's quite comfortable with me, he is also not my dog. And the grounding exercise is essentially a way to connect with the dog and prepare them for what is to come next. Okay? Now, why do we do this? Because anytime you're about to start something, anytime you're about to go somewhere, enter a place, exit a place, you sort of want to have that check-in moment with your dog where you're making sure that you two are in sync. The dog is still paying attention to you. The dog is with you, even though you're about to enter a new place or exit from a place and you're about to do something different, and the dog can tell you're about to do something different. But grounding, I want you to think of it as sort of like the period in between sentences. It's a little moment for us to check in and make sure that the dog is calm and that I am calm. This is not just about the dog being calm. This is also about me making sure that before I enter the park with my dog, before I enter the herding arena or the scenting class with my dog, or before I hit the sidewalks with my dog, that we are indeed connected and we are together and in a good frame of mind, essentially, to take on whatever is the activity that is waiting for us. Okay? So how do you ground? It's quite simple, actually, in theory, but could get a little bit more delicate depending on the dog that you're trying to ground with. Okay? Grounding is a reflection, ultimately, of the health of your relationship. The quicker and easier a dog grounds with you, the more that speaks to the health of your relationship. Okay? So with grounding, just as I'm doing with Jake here, he is on a fairly loose line and on a short line. He needs to be given enough space to settle on his own, okay? But also not to be given so much space that he can't settle. Very important for you guys to understand that when it comes to dogs, motion has an impact on emotion. So if I'm allowing this dog to dance all over the place, that is not going to help me get a handle on his emotions. So I need to restrict his movement to a certain degree. And as you can see here, he stopped sniffing around. He's pretty much here, okay? But eventually, I'm waiting for that moment where the dog is not only going to just settle, but also check in with me and tell me essentially, okay, what's coming up next? What are we doing next, Mama? What are we doing next, Sue, huh? Why don't you let me know, okay? So while I'm here waiting for, good boy, there you go, guys. That's it, okay? It's not something impossible. It just needs a little bit of patience. But we're very used to cueing and commanding dogs and telling them lie down or look at me or leave that alone. I'm hugely into giving dogs opportunities to figure things out on their own. So I create the environment to keep them safe. I set up the situation so that they sort of have an understanding of what I'm expecting of them, but I try to not say much. I try to not cue and command, all right? So with the grounding exercise, instead of saying sit and look at me, I'm just sitting here talking to you. I'm paying attention to my dog, of course. Like I said, I've got a short line, not a whole lot of room to move. Good boy. Good boy. And I've got a dog that's settled and who is waiting for the next thing. Good job, Jake. Yeah. Good boy. You ready for the next thing? Good dog. And you can certainly use food to help your dog settle next to you, especially if you're just getting started. Food is what eases everything, all right? It's sort of like a lubricant, if you will. It makes everything smoother and easier until eventually it is the mutual love and respect that is between the two of you that helps you get things done with your dog, as opposed to having to use food or toys to incentivize them. This is your perfect grounding scenario. The dog is calm, looking up and waiting for direction, instruction, information about what's to come next. Thank you.